Hello students, welcome back to our science class. My name is Anjali and today we are going to study chapter 16 of class 8. Students, so I hope you all are fine and safe at your places and doing good. Yes, yes, you all will do great in your lives. So students, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a small interesting activity, okay? And what you have to do is you have to carefully observe it that what is happening. So I'm doing the setting of this that you can see the activity being performed. So for this activity we have taken a simple torch we have taken and we have a wooden plank also, and what we are going to do, we just see with those few materials. Yes students, so here it is visible to you. See, we have a mirror, we have a torch, okay, and we have other materials like the wood, the metal, okay. This is the wood. So now students just observe that when light is reflecting on this mirror, what how can you see the path of the light, okay. Just observe. Now we will be taking what? Yes, in the case of mirror, you have you seen? Yes, very good students. So in the case of mirror you have seen. Now let us see in the case of wood also. Once again I will show you that we have, if we'll take a wood, then just see what is happening. Yes, this is the wood and see the torch light is going on that wood. And what is the difference between the when it is going on the this mirror now? See, if you want to see once again with the experiment of this wooden plank which we have taken. So I hope now students you must might have observed something. So what have you observed? Very good students. Some kind of reflection you have seen over here. Very good. So as we have already studied something about reflection in our earlier class, so here also reflection is going on. Now students, today what are we going to study about? We are going to study about the reflection and its types. So students, what is the difference which you were observing when the light was reflecting on the mirror, on the surface of mirror and then on the surface of the wood? Yes, when you see, when we have a mirror kind of thing, right, we can clearly see the path of the light like this. It was clearly visible to us, right? And students, when you will observe, when we have that wooden plank, so what was the light very clearly visible, or it was something like this which we were not also able to see clearly, right? Yes, very good students. So what do you think, there is difference in between the types of reflection, these two types of reflection? Yes, there is exactly a difference. So students, first type is we are discussing about the regular reflection, and second is type we are discussing about the diffused reflection. So here you can see how this reflection is a regular reflection, students. Yes, it is a regular because we are able to clearly see that how the light, the path of the light, it is reflecting and it is going in the same direction over here, like the incident ray and the reflected ray. And in the diffused, what you were saying, that we are not able to clearly distinguish the reflection which is going on there, right? Yes, very good students. So good observation you have given. So when all the parallel rays reflected from a rough or irregular surface, students, they are not parallel. That reflection is known as the diffused or irregular reflection. Very in the second case where you have seen. So if I draw an irregular surface like this, okay, and the path of light will be falling somewhat this, somewhere it will be falling down or on the peak of this the surface. So it will go in other directions like this, which are not parallel to each other, right? So irregularities are there in the surface. Very good, students. So then we can say when all the parallel rays they get reflected from a rough or irregular surface, they are not parallel. If we are also striking the parallel rays, but after the reflection, what is happening? They are not parallel. So this type of reflection, students, which you have seen in the activity also, that is called the diffused or irregular reflection. So which was that material on which you have seen the diffused reflection? Yes, that was the wood. Very good, students. So now let's proceed ahead. Let's discuss something about the now. Remember that the diffused reflection also, it is not due to the failure of the laws of reflection. You might be wondering that law of reflection says that parallel incident ray angle and the reflected ray angle, it is same. But over here it is not the failure. It is just the we are having it is caused by the irregularities on the reflecting surface, students, right? Like that of a cardboard also you can see. Basically talking about the irregularities, only that is the case why the diffuse reflection we are seeing. So on the other hand, students, reflection from a smooth surface like that of a mirror which you have seen, that is a regular reflection. So if we have a like this, you can see a mirror surface is kind of smooth, right? It is not having any irregularities. So any parallel ray, if it will come, it will just bounce back in the parallel only, like this. Another it will come, it will again go parallelly. So we are striking the parallel rays, and again the reflected rays are also parallel, isn't it? Yes, very good, students. So now you can see that images that are forming, they are due to the regular reflection only, because we are able to see the clear images, because the parallel lines, they are focusing upon the making of those images very clearly. So that is why images are said to be formed by the regular reflection. Okay. So I hope are we clear with the regular and the diffused reflection which we have seen, right? Very good, students. Now let's move ahead. So now, students, what I want you to draw the ray diagram which is showing the regular and the irregular reflections. You can draw it on your notebooks. Yes, meanwhile, I will also help you out, because just now we have seen how the parallel rays will strike the, if a regular surface, what will happen? If it will strike the irregular surface, then what will happen? Okay. Yes, so first let us draw for the regular and then for the irregular. So basically, student, for the regular surface, we have a very smooth kind of surface, and whenever any ray will get reflected to it, uh, incident to it, it will be bouncing parallelly, like all the rays. So we can say these are the incident rays, and they are the reflected rays, right? And this is the smooth surface. So are we clear with the how the ray diagram will be showing the regular reflection? Yes, very good. And also if irregular, so the surface will be irregular only. This is irregular surface. Now if one ray will be coming, we will be uh, incidenting the rays parallelly only, but what will happen due to the distortions? Some will go like this, might go like this, the irregularities, this may go like this. Okay, so these are the reflected rays, and these are the incident rays. So I hope we are clear with the ray diagrams of the regular and irregular reflections, students. Okay. So now what you have to do is, it's your turn to answer this question, that you have to take the correct answer. When all the parallel rays reflected from a rough or irregular surface, they are not parallel, so the reflection is known as dash regular reflection or the diffused reflection? Yes, very good, students. So that kind of reflection is known as the diffused reflection because we have the irregular surface. So we can see over here that type of reflection is diffused reflection. Now students, let's move ahead. So I'm going to show you something. What it is? Yes, this is a barber shop and we often visit the barbers, right, to get our hair cut. So students, what you can see over here, what kind of reflection will be involved? First of all, tell me over here. Yes, the regular kind of reflection, because here reflection is occurring through the, yes, mirror. So students, what you can think that the reflected ray, incidentally, and the reflected ray are there which strikes the mirror, so it will get reflected back. So what do you think that can the reflected light be get reflected again also? Yes. So students, what actually barber do when we have to see the back cut of our hair? So he will place a mirror like this, and again you are able to see the your back side of it in the front mirror. So don't you think that here multiple kind of reflection is going on? You're able to see your face in the front mirror also, and a mirror is kept at your back also, due to which you are able to see at the your back also. Yes, very good, students. So here also some kind of reflection is involved over here, and the multiple reflection we can see. So students, from this we can infer that the reflected light, it can be reflected again. Okay, not only it's like that only, yes, reflected ray will there, but what can happen, this reflected light, it can get reflected back again, and hence we are able to see in the barber shop, like they are using the mirror also. So basically students, a plane mirror forms only a single image when we have only a single plane mirror. When two or more mirrors are placed at some angles to each other like this, so what we see, we get to see the multiple images, like in the shop of the barber also we see multiple images. So one mirror is at the back, one mirror is at the front of our head, right, and barber is placing one mirror at the back side of our hairs to show us. So there multiple images are being formed. So if we are taking an example where two mirrors are placed opposite to each other, yes, so if an object we can place in between them, so image will be formed on both the mirrors, right? Yes, image will definitely be forming on the both of the mirrors if we place it. Now students, let me show you something, and you have to identify this scene is of which area, like where you have seen this. Yes, you might have visited to a fair where you have seen the mirror maze, right? There is a room in which so many mirrors are there, right? So how can you relate now the concept that reflected light, it can be reflected again and multiple images are formed? Yes, very good, students. So if you are saying that when we enter a mirror maze room, like where so many mirrors are kept, right? So we are able to see so many images, like this person is also, see, this is a single person, but we are seeing it on the every mirror which is being kept. They are kept at some angles. So multiple images are being formed there, where the multiple reflection is going on from one reflected mirror to the other. It is going the rays. So here also this is one the daily life example which we have seen, how the reflected light, it is getting reflected again also. Okay. So now you have, what you have to do is you have to choose the correct option out of these four, that when the two or the more mirrors are placed at some angles so to each other, we get to see single image, or when two or more mirrors are placed at some angles to each other, we get to see the multiple images. What is your take on this? Which is the correct option? Yes, you can take your time. Just a second. Yes. Now you can give your answers in the comment section. Yes, I'll be waiting for a few more seconds for you. Yes, very good students. So if you are giving me the answers that B is the correct, that when two or more mirrors are placed at some angles, so what happens to each when they are placed at some angles to each other, they basically form the multiple images. We see multiple images. And what is the example which we have discussed related to the these multiple forming images? Yes, we have discussed about that barber shop, and also we have discussed about the mirror maze in the fair which you see often, right? Yes. Now students, I am going to show you something. Okay, just let me first need to observe very carefully that where you might have seen this. Okay, where one thing which will be visible to you. Yes students, so now you can see that the person, students, the person is having some materials with him and he is trying to make something using those materials. Eventually he is having the mirror with him. You can see. Yes students, so till now what have you observed? Yes, he has taken three mirrors and he has attached these three mirrors in at some angles binding with the tape, and he's also covering it with a piece of paper. So students, now you can see that what the person is doing in this mirror. He has put something and just see. He has taken some beads. Yes, so students, have you seen what how he has made? Yes, the device which he has made is a kaleidoscope, students. And what actually is happening over there? Yes, he is using the multiple the mirrors and he is attaching it in a triangular form, then filling the beads inside it. And have you seen the beautiful patterns? Yes, the kaleidoscope is forming the beautiful, beautiful pattern, students. So that device is actually what? A kaleidoscope. So here also student, concept of multiple images formation is involved where the reflection is occurring there also. So let us discuss what actually a kaleidoscope is. So students, a kaleidoscope is an optical device which creates the colorful, beautiful, beautiful patterns due to the multiple reflections in the plane mirror. Because we have taken the three plane mirrors, right? We have seen multiple means we have taken three plane mirrors, right? So due to that, multiple reflections will be there, and hence we can see the colorful, different colorful types of patterns. So this is what a kaleidoscope is, and it is a cylinder with three plane mirrors and loose. colored objects such as beads, the pebbles and bits of glass. If we put it inside, so what we will see? We will see the different kinds of beautiful patterns in that kaleidoscope. So students, what do you think that where this kaleidoscope might be have been coming into the use? Yes, you can think of some instances where you might have also seen this. Yes, very good students. So if you are saying that usually when you see the magic, right, the magicians use this kaleidoscope very often, and also in the fair, these are being sold by the persons also, so that we can see the beautiful patterns which are being formed by that kaleidoscope. Good students. So now it's time for you to answer the statement, as you have to fill in this blank. Okay, that a kaleidoscope forms dash images. Yes, you can write your answers in the comment section, that I will read it out from there. Let us see how much you got about the kaleidoscope. Yes, very good students. So if you are giving me answers as the multiple images, you are absolutely correct. The answer is multiple images. Very good. So multiple is the will come in this blank, that a kaleidoscope forms multiple images. So students, what have we discussed in our today's class? Yes. So today we have learned about the reflection and its type. We have seen the regular and the diffused reflection, right? And also how the reflected light can be reflected again, and about the kaleidoscope. So now let's summarize. So students, what is the regular reflection and what is diffused reflection? Yes. So regular reflection is the reflection which is occurring when a light parallel rays of light they strikes their incident on the mirror, so they are bouncing back in the parallel only. So we are saying that regular reflection is occurring, whereas in the diffuse reflection, if we have the irregular surface, so the parallel rays they are not reflecting parallelly, so hence we are getting a diffused reflection. Very good students. So now dash is an optical device which creates colorful beautiful patterns due to multiple reflections. Which is that device? Yes, it is a kaleidoscope only. And students, when two or more mirrors are placed at some angles to each other, then we get to see multiple images. What is your take on this statement, true or false? Very good. This statement is true, because when we have seen that we are placing two or more mirrors, so we are getting the multiple images. And if two mirrors are placed opposite to each other and an object we are placing in between, so its image will be seen in both the mirrors due to the multiple reflection. And also students, what have we discussed regarding that, how the reflected the example which we have discussed about reflected light getting back reflected again? Yes, we have discussed the example of the barber shop, right? And in that we have seen that if a mirror is already placed in front of us, and what a barber is usually doing, he is keep putting a mirror beside our head, and also one large mirror is there at the back wall. So we are able to see multiple images are forming, because reflection there is the again reflecting backlight from the one mirror to the another mirror, and then it is to the next mirror also, right? So in this way we have seen that reflected light can reflect it back again. Now students, homework time for you. First question is that what you have to do, you have to simply differentiate between regular and diffused reflection, and answer that, does diffused reflection mean the failure of the laws of the reflection or not? And second question is that you have to describe the construction of a kaleidoscope, which you have seen in the video, that how it is being formed, what is it's working actually. Okay. And question third is that you have to tell that how many images of a candle can be formed if we place it between the two parallel planes which are separated by the 40 centimeter distance. And students, in the activity you have to make a kaleidoscope. For that, what you can do, you can get 3 rectangular mirror strips, okay, yes, which are 15 centimeter and 4 centimeter in the dimension. Join them together to form a prism kind of thing, and you can, what you can do, attach a circular cardboard or a thick cardboard. Then make sure you can see that tube is slightly longer than the mirror which is there, okay, and close one end of the tube by a cardboard disc, then through which you can, one side should be open through which we can see. And to make the disc durable, what you can do, you can paste a piece of transparent plastic sheet also under that cardboard, and at the other end touching the mirrors, okay. Fix a circular glass plate. Place it on the glass plate several small pieces of the colored glasses, like the broken pieces of the colored bangles. And you can, what you can do, you can close this end of the tube by a ground glass plate. Allow enough space for the color pieces to move around. And then we'll see that how it is being working. You will be enjoying by performing this activity. So that's all for today's class. Thank you, students.